What's up, everybody? Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Summertime is in the air. Got my little kings going, got my bottle opener, and guys, today, welcome to another exciting, titillating episode of Radical Rockin' Record Reviews with me, none other than Wild Ride bassist Mick Watkins, or you can call me Dick Twatkins. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, today we're gonna keep going with the ranking of the discographies, ladies and gentlemen, of bands that I dig, of bands that I love. And today we are gonna get into none other than a discography of one of my favorite bands of all time. As a matter of fact, I could probably go ahead and say that these dudes are in my top 5 favorite bands of all time. Top 5 favorite bands of all time. And for the most part, I love most of their albums. I love most of the albums. There's a few of them, maybe, I'll go ahead and say, there's 2 albums of theirs that I'm really not that crazy about. Hang on, let me get a drink real quick. But other than that, dude, I think they have a solid ass discography. And, well, you know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about none other than LA's hottest band. The hottest band in 1984, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm talking about? It was the year of the Ratt. And also 2020 is the year of the Ratt, which sucks because the coronavirus, COVID-19, ruined that. I was supposed to see Ratt, I think coming up in July. But that show has been postponed to September 26th here in Kentucky. To some fucking festival called Beaver Dam Rocks the 80s, you know? But anyway, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, today's episode is going to be ranking the discography of none other than Ratt, ladies and gentlemen. Love this band. Huge Ratt fan, guys. I've seen Ratt, or should I say, I've seen Ratt twice live. First time I seen Ratt, unfortunately, was the fake Ratt back in 2017. The fake Ratt, led by drummer Bobby Blotzer. And it was pretty pathetic, ladies and gentlemen. It was pretty pathetic. I did not like it. They butchered the songs. Bobby Blotzer was going out in front of the stage and breakdancing with a little glittery hat on, and he was fucking... It was just awful, guys. I mean, the band just didn't live up. The singer was not Stephen Pearcy. To me, dude, in order to have Ratt, you have to have Stephen Pearcy. You have to have Stephen Pearcy. He started the band, and he is like pretty much the main influence of the songwriting, guys. So you gotta have Stephen Pearcy. And last summer, I seen Ratt, the breed of Ratt that's going on now. As Stephen has called it, the new breed of Ratt. And it was Stephen Pearcy on vocals, of course, Juan Crucier on bass, the killer, amazing lead duo of Jordan Ziff and Chris Anderson, which sadly since then Chris has left the band, and drummer Pete Holmes, you know. And dude, let me go ahead and say it, that Warren D. Martini is one of my favorite guitarists of all time. Love his style, love his playing. He is the sound of Ratt. But you know, unfortunately, he has decided to bail out on the band and doesn't want to tour anymore. You know, I've heard things saying that he doesn't need to, money-wise. I've heard things that he doesn't want to deal with the drama and the instructions of the band. And that totally sucks. But I'm telling you what, this new band with Jordan Ziff taking Warren's place, solid, dude, solid. And coming up this year or next year, Ratt is supposed to release new songs and a new album. And I'm telling you, dude, I can't wait. I can't wait. But anyway, let's get into the discography. Let's get into the discography. A great discography, guys. Let's see how many albums they have. Let me count. I should have been prepared, but I did not do my homework. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have 9 albums, 9 studio albums, and today we are gonna count them down to see my least favorite to favorite of the discography of R-A-T-T, Ratt. Ratt and roll, baby. All day and all night long. Here on Radical Rockin' Reviews with me, Wild Ride bassist Dick Twatkins. or Mick Watkins, whatever. And dude, come on. Today's episode, like always, is sponsored by Schlong's Little Kings. Get you some Schlong's Little Kings, man. One of my favorite beers. Blah, 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 blah. But let's get into the ranking of the discography. Least favorite to favorite of Ratt. So here we go. 9 albums. 8 full-length albums and 1 EP. But that EP is so fucking badass and so important to the band's history that you have to include it. Alright, so guys, coming in at number 9 of my least favorite Ratt albums. Number 9. I'm gonna have to go with this. Now, the backstory, the backstory of this album was, I believe, in 1992, you know, once the grunge movement came in, the Seattle invasion came in, bands like Nirvana, Alice in Chains, who I love, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, once that scene became huge and big, excuse me, it pretty much wiped out a lot of the LA bands. Or really, not just the LA bands, but I think the 80s was so, I don't know, over the top. It was so hedonistic. Party and drugs, money, success, chicks. A lot of bands, and not just the LA bands, but a lot of bands that were huge in the 80s did not make it out alive of the 80s. I mean, they might have went into the early 90s, up to 92, 93, whatever. Some of them did, but a lot of bands from the 80s imploded in the mid-90s, let's say. And Ratt was one of those bands, unfortunately. And then, you know, once the kind of the grunge scene kind of quieted down a little bit, you know, like, I think people were getting bored, and like, people wanted to have fun again. People wanted to fucking rock, dude. And then in 1997, Ratt decided, Ratt being Steven, Bobby, and Warren, and their newest bassist at the time, Robbie Crane, decided to reunite Ratt and bring it back. And they released this album. That was a collection of re-records of classic songs that Stephen Pearcy had written in his previous band, Mickey Ratt. So, if you're a Ratt fan, you know what album that is. And I'm going to go with I think the worst Ratt album. The production on this album is really cheap, chintzy sounding. I do not like it. Really don't care for it. But I'm going to go with 1997's Ratt release, Collage. Collage. I mean, dude, this album, I have to have it because it's part of the discography. But honestly, I don't ever play this album. This is my least favorite, my least played Ratt album, and definitely my least favorite. I mean, it has some cool tunes. I mean, if this album had a better, I don't know, production to it, it might be better. But the production fucking blows on this album, dude. I mean, it's got some cool tracks, like Still River is pretty cool. Dr. Rock is pretty cool. I mean, Mother Blues, it's pretty cool. Hold Tight. But my favorite track on this not so great album is a song that I would actually love to hear Ratt now bust out. I think live they could fucking kill it, dude. With Jordan Ziff killing it. And all the Juan's goofy dance moves and shit. But I would love to hear them do my favorite track on this album, A Ratt Madness! A Ratt Madness! Ratt Madness. Cool album. This album, if you're new to Ratt and you have not really delved into their discography, this album is not essential. But if you really love Ratt, you have to have everything, then I would say go ahead and pick this album up. But this album is getting kind of hard to find, actually. They need to reissue this on vinyl. I don't really like this album too much, but you know what? If they actually release this on vinyl, I'd probably buy it. So coming in at number 9, my least favorite, the shittiest Ratt album, released 1997's Collage. There you go. So I'm gonna put this back here. All right, coming in at number 8. Number 8. Now, let's see. Whenever I first started getting into Ratt, let's see. It was back in the summer of 99. 99, all right. So I heard Ratt, Wanted Man, and that fucking song blew me away, dude. I mean, because at this time, I was huge into Kiss, dude. Motley Crue, Van Halen, you know, really big into that style of rock, you know. and my dad was playing this CD at his compilation CD called 18 Hard Rock Hits or some kind of shit, and I heard Wanted Man for the first time, and it fucking blew me away. And I picked the case up and it said Ratt. So I had to get it, dude. So I had to find out what album Wanted Man was on. And well, we go to the store and I find Out of the Cellar, and next to it was this album. It was brand new at the time. And, you know, I got it and I thought it was okay. Nowhere near as good as Out of the Cellar. Let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. Let me take a swiggy at my Little Kings real quick. Hang on. But yeah, I mean, this album's okay. At the time, it came out in 1999, so you know already what it is. I mean, this album was Ratt trying to fit into the late 90s music scene. Alternative rock was big. Did shit like Creed. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And I personally think this is Ratt. They really don't know what to do, you know. Should we sound like classic Ratt? Should we go grunge? Should we try to fit in? And this album is kind of just like, it's got some songs that sound like 80s classic Ratt, and it's got some songs that sound like, I don't know, kind of bluesy, modern, 1999 rock. But nonetheless, coming in number 8, my least favorite to favorite Ratt discography ranking list is 1999's self-titled album, Ratt. Now, the band at this time was the same lineup that was on Collage, featuring Bobby Blotzer, Stephen Pearcy, Warren DeMartini, and Robbie Crane. I mean, this album's good. It's, once again, I don't really listen to this album too much. It's okay. It's okay. It's just, they don't really feel inspired on this album, and the production is very dry. It's very dry, dude. Very dry. It needs a little bit of sheen. It needs a little bit of polishing, I think. I mean, but this album doesn't suck. But it definitely, I mean, it's got some good tunes. I mean, Over the Edge, yeah, like Over the Edge was the big song off this album. That song's pretty good. Gave up, giving up. Gave up, giving up's cool. Let's see. We Don't Belong is a great ballad. Breakout's cool. Dead Reckoning. Lovesick is cool. But my favorite track on this album might have to be It Ain't Easy Being With Me. It ain't easy. So guys, coming in at number 8, 1999's Ratt. Alright. So now we're getting in number 7 on the Ratt ranking countdown. And yeah, so like now we're getting into more of the classic era stuff. And this album was fucking solid, dude. This album's really good. But it's my least favorite of the classic era of the band. I mean, this album's good. You might have seen it when I was just pulling it out. But yeah, this album's good. And this album probably contains my all-time favorite Ratt song. But I don't know. This album just doesn't have something about it just doesn't completely click with me. I like most of the tracks. I like all the tracks. But this album, something about it doesn't really grab onto me like the others do. And I'm talking about none other than 1988's, produced by Beau Hill, with the classic lineup by 1988's on vinyl. Reach for the Sky, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Reach for the Sky, man. I mean, it's got some really kick-ass tracks. City to City. It's got Way Cool Jr. Way Cool Jr.'s classic Ratt. Don't Bite the Hand That Feeds was kind of like Ratt's, maybe their first attempt at doing a power ballad. Even though I really wouldn't call it a power ballad too much. I Wanna Love You Tonight. No Surprise, Bottom Line. What's it gonna be? Good stuff. My favorite track, and probably my favorite Ratt song of all time, is I Want a Woman, Not Some Little Girl. Oh, dude, I Want a Woman. Fucking great song, dude. Great song. So coming in number 7, 1988's Reach for the Sky. This album's good. Just a little more polished than the previous Ratt albums. Good, solid release. This is definitely essential to your Ratt collection. So pick it up. Definitely pick it up. You won't be sorry. All right, so coming in at the number 6. So with this album, number 6, Ratt is entering the 90s. Ratt's entering the 90s, and at this point in the 90s, I believe this album came out, it's so hard to read. I believe this came out in 1990. I don't know, I really can't find the exact date because it's not on the CD. But yeah, I think it came out in 1990. Yeah, it came out in 90, of course. So this album came out in 1990. It was produced, this is when Ratt started. I mean, this album is, there's parts of it that is really heavy. Really heavy. Some of the heaviest crunchy stuff that Ratt's done yet. But then again, it's got a different side to it where it has some of the more polished stuff. Because this album was produced by a man called Sir Arthur Pizon, which is not really an actual person. It's a persona. A persona for none other than 80s pop, glam metal, producer king. Dude, he had hits with Kiss. He had hits with fucking Bon Jovi, most notoriously. Talking about none other than Desmond Child. And he came in, helped in on the songwriting and the production of this album. And like I said, this album has some of their heaviest stuff, but with that heavier material, it's got a big pop sheen to it, which honestly I dig, and I love this album. I think this album kicks all kinds of ass. And I'm talking about 1990s Detonator. Detonator. Dude, it opens up with this badass fucking bluesy solo by Warren DeMartini called Intro to Shame. Then it goes into Shame, Shame, Shame. It's got Loving You's a dirty job, and I'm the man to do it. Dude, scratch that. There's so many great choruses and sing-along parts to this album. One Step Away kicks ass. Hard Time. Heads I win, tails you lose. All or Nothing. Top Secret. Ratt's very first power ballad, and pretty much only power ballad, Giving Yourself Away. But my favorite track is Can't Wait on Love. Can't Wait on Love rules, dude. Heavy. Got me shaking all night long. Dude, love it. So coming in at number 6, 1990s Detonator. This is also essential to your Ratt and Roll collection. You have to get this. Have to get it. It's good shit, man. And sadly, this was the last album with founding member Robin Crosby. It was his last album because he was getting really bad into drugs, like heroin and drinking. And yeah, he got really bad off. And eventually he passed away in, I think, 2002. He got AIDS. He got AIDS. But I don't think he died of AIDS. I think he actually died of a lethal injection of heroin. So yeah, rest in peace, the king, Robin Crosby. Let's take a little bit of silence, moment of silence for Robin Crosby. Here we go. All right, we love you, Robin. We miss you, dude. So coming in number 6, 1990s Detonator. All right, so check that out. So here it is, coming in number 5. Fuck. Hang on, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5. Okay, 5. Dude, not good with numbers. Not gonna lie. So coming in number 5. Now, like, this pick might be a little controversial because some fans think this is the best album Ratt ever did. Some people love it. I love it, dude. That's why it's in my top 5. But I don't think it's the best thing they ever did. And, well, I mean, we'll talk about why. There's one Little Kings down, so let's bust another one open, guys. It's a hot-ass summer day, and I need to quench my thirst. So, yeah, guys, another Little King. Schlongs, Little Kings coming at you. So, coming in number 5. Top 5 Ratt countdown. Here we go. Is, I believe, from 1984. No, excuse me, 1983. Ratt went in to the studio and self-produced their very first release on Time Coast Records, and they fucking released a classic, dude. Probably Ratt at their heaviest. And I mean, like, this is heavy metal Ratt, which I consider Ratt a heavy metal band. Later on, they went into more of a glam metal band, or hair metal, if you want to call it that, but I'd rather not use that because I think it's a derogatory term towards badass 80s bands. But yeah, so, I mean, dude. And this album features kind of more of the songwriting style of Stephen Pearcy and Robin Crosby. And I'm talking about number 5 on the countdown, 1983's self-produced Time Coast Records, the original version on vinyl, none other than the Ratt EP. Check it. I love that album cover, dude. Check it out. And those legs are Tawny Katane. That's her legs, because at the time she was dating Robin Crosby right there. And there's the boys, the original and classic lineup. You got Robin Crosby, Juan Crucier, Stephen Pearcy, Bobby Blotzer, and the man, Warren DeMartini. Dude, this album, I mean, come on. You think you're tough? Sweet Cheater, you got it. Tell the world. Back for More, the cover that Aerosmith did a cover of, Walking the Dog. This is Ratt almost with a new wave of British heavy metal sound. Very heavy, very aggressive. Not really much, pop influence. This is just Ratt coming out of the gate with a heavy metal classic. And I think my favorite songs on this record, I mean, are probably, dude, Tell the World is Badass. And my favorite track is probably pretty much the hit off this album, You Think You're Tough. Love it, dude. Love it. This album is essential to get in your Ratt collection. Definitely, dude, definitely. But unfortunately, this album is pretty much now, in this day and age, this album is only available on vinyl. And this is the original Time Coast Records vinyl. Let's see, back in the early 90s, they released it on CD. And I've been dying to get the CD copy because, you know, I mean, I love vinyl, but honestly, I'm more of a CD guy. I love CDs, and I would really love to get a CD copy of it. But dude, they go online, Discogs, eBay, for fucking hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And I'm not dropping hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a CD. I hope one of these days, I think there's some legality issues, but I hope one of these days Ratt reissues it on vinyl. That'd be cool. Can I get like a remastered version on vinyl and CD? Dude, I'd scoop them both up. So I think the only chance you're going to find this, besides downloading it online illegally, which I think is fucking weak, because this album isn't even available on streaming platforms. So I think the only way you can get this legally and the actual real copy is an old school original vinyl release. So coming in at number 5, Ratt's 1983 self-titled EP, Ratt. Alright, so now we're getting into my top 4, guys. And, I mean, really, the top 5 are just fucking solid, dude. You can't beat them. These top 5 the reason why Ratt is one of my all-time favorite bands, honestly. So coming in at number 4. Yeah, number 4, guys. Now, this album was a surprise. Let's say, I remember, like, back in the early 2000s, Stephen Pearcy left Ratt. And Ratt was, I think, made up mostly of Warren, Bobby, John Corabi from Motley Crue actually joined Ratt on rhythm guitar. And the singer was Jizzy Pearl. Jizzy Pearl. Why would you name yourself Jizzy Pearl? I don't know. But anyway, I really don't like the dude's voice. He's not Pearcy. He's not Stephen Pearcy. Stephen Pearcy is the only voice of Ratt, dude. Only voice I will accept. And Ratt went on like that for a little bit in the early to mid 2000s. And I remember finally in 2007, I think, Stephen Pearcy finally came back to the band, and they did a couple tours, and they finally found a solid unit. They had Stephen Pearcy on lead vocals, Warren DeMartini, Robbie Crane on bass, Bobby Blotzer on drums, and with the help of Warren, recruited former Quiet Riot lead guitar player Carlos Cavazo. And dude, besides the classic lineup of the 80s and early 90s of Ratt, I think this lineup is the best lineup Ratt has ever had. And with that, these guys went into the studio and crafted a fucking classic Ratt and Roll album, dude. This album, it's why it's my top 4. This album goes neck to neck right up against their classic albums from the 80s, dude. I'm talking about none other than, I think, one of the greatest albums of the 2010s, the decade of the 10s, one of the best hard rock heavy metal albums of that decade. And dude, Ratt just fucking killed it. I'm talking number 4, coming in number 4, none other than 2010. It's already been 10 years since this album. 2010's mighty, blistering, ass-kicking, ball-stomping, nipple-twisting classic, Infestation, dude. Check it out. If you have never heard this record, if you have never heard this CD, if you have never heard this album, dude, get your ass on eBay, Amazon, Discogs, buy this motherfucker. Or if you're fucking lazy and you don't want to pay money, get on YouTube. Listen to it for fucking free, dude. Listen to it. Dude, Eat Me Up Alive. Oh my God. Fucking classic Ratt. Best of Me. A Little Too Much. Lost Weekend. Take a Big Bite. Don't Let Go. Take Me Home. Classic Ratt, dude. And I thought this was the beginning of a new genesis, a new era of Ratt. I thought, man, my band is back. They're going to fucking kick ass in the 2010s and roll. Sadly, I'd say maybe 5 or 6 months later, after the release of this album, and they did a really kick-ass tour with Scorpions, sadly, Stephen Pearcy left Ratt again. And then the band went into a hiatus, and then that began just the up and down of, you know, Bobby Blotzer's fake Ratt. And at this time, Warren stuck to his guns, and he said, dude, if Stephen Pearcy isn't in Ratt, I'm not playing Ratt music. I'm only doing it with Stephen Pearcy. And some kind of drama and bullshit kept things down. I think 2017, 2018, they got back together, minus Bobby Blotzer. And they were going kick-ass. And then Warren drops out, and they get all kinds of drama. Juan Crucier comes back. And that leads to the new breed of Ratt we have today, which I love. But damn it, dude. This is the lineup that should have fucking continued. This is the album that in 10 years they should have released 3 more albums. 4 more albums of this quality. It's coming in number 4. A modern classic. A badass album that you need to listen to. Once this video ends, look this fucking shit up. I'm telling you. Number 4 on my list. 2010's mighty Infestation, dude. One of the best albums of the 2010s. If you haven't heard this, I feel sorry for you. I really fucking feel sorry for you. Top 3, guys. Here we go. Top 3. Let me get a swiggy of my Lil Kings. Alright. Top 3. If you've been watching the video the whole time, you know what they are. You know what albums are left, but you don't know what order they're in. That's the fun of this. So coming in number 3. Whoosh. From 1986. You already know what it is. I'm talking about, dude, I love this album. This album to me has got a heavier approach. This album's got a heavier approach. I think it's got less of the MTV video appeal. I think this album's heavier. This album's a little darker, I think, than the previous 2. I'm talking about 1986's Dancing Undercover, dude. I love this album. I love this album. This album rules, dude. Starts off with dance, dance, dance. Feel the heat of the rhythm. Feel the beat of my hand. Dude. Dancing Undercover, man. One good lover. Slip, slip. Here it is playing in the background. Slip, slip. Slip of the lip. I like the way you move your hips. Oh, And guys, remember, loose lips sink ships. And dude, looking for love, 7th Avenue, it doesn't matter, take a chance, enough is enough. It's fucking crazy, dude. Fucking good album. Love this album. Solid, dude. Solid. And you gotta look at this cool ass picture of the guys on the front. And I know my buddy Johnny Vogan always likes to point out that Stephen Pearcy smoking the cigarette all the way down to the filter. I don't smoke, but I have smoked in the past. And you know, if anything, dude, this album, keep your kids away from this album cover, because if they see how cool Stephen Pearcy looks smoking that cigarette, dude, your kids will start fucking smoking. Because kids want to be cool, and that is my definition of cool. Bobby Blotzer, Warren DeMartini, Stephen Pearcy, Robin Crosby, Juan Crusade. This album's great. Essential. Buy it. Favorite track? Ooh, it's tough. Either Slip of the Lip or Body Talk. One of those two, I honestly can't choose. So yeah, coming in number 3, 1986's. I was 1 year old when this album came out. I was partying and shitting in my diapers. Loving it. But yeah, guys, favorite tracks, definitely Slip of the Lip, Body Talk tied. Can't pick. And I didn't say it earlier, but my favorite track on Infestation, definitely probably Best of Me. Best of Me. So here it is, guys, top 2. Top 2 in the Ratt discography. This album came out the year I was born, in 1985. And this album's fucking classic. Love it. Heavy Ratt, kick-ass Ratt and roll. Can't go wrong. You're in love. Never use love. I don't wanna fight. My buddy Jelly D, John Bon Jovi, Joey Dildoey's favorite Ratt song, Lay It Down. Give it all close to my heart. Between the eyes, what you give is what you get. Got me on the line, ready for the night. You should know by now, dangerous or worth the risk. Another, number 2, the best Ratt albums, 1985's classic, dude. Talking about Invasion of Your Privacy. Check it out. Invasion of Your Privacy. And if you look, this is a sealed copy. Never been opened, from 1985, and it's even got the old school Target price tag. It was in the cutout bins. Target price tag, $3.99. This album is worth $399. This album fucking rules, dude. I mean, this album is Ratt, like, this is Ratt evolving. They're going with the sound that they got on out of Cellar. But this is Ratt kind of, I don't know. I would, like, if Ratt ever made a kind of a glam metal album, a glammy album, you know how, like, Motley Crue had Theater of Pain? You know, I would say this is Ratt's glam album. But you know what? This album, I love Theater of Pain, but this album kicks Theater of Pain right in the fucking nutsack, dude. This album kills Theater of Pain, and I love them both. So coming to number 2 is Invasion of Privacy from 1985. And my favorite track on this album, Lay It Down, dude. Because I like to lay it down. So that only leaves one more, guys, and, well, you know what it is. I mean, I think most Ratt fans, anybody that loves Ratt, that digs the discography, is going to agree with me that this is Ratt peaked. Ratt peaked on their debut album. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of bands did. But they continue to release kick-ass music, dude. And, you know, dude, you know what? Ratt's supposed to release a new album probably next year. I'd say 2021. It'd be awesome to hear it in 2020 with all this bullshit going on. Get a distraction from all the crazy shit in the world. But they're supposed to release a new album probably next year in 2021. And I have high hopes, dude. I have high hopes for it to be just as good, if not better than Infestation. But I do not think they will be able to top this, because this album is a fucking masterpiece and one of my favorite hard rock, heavy metal albums of all time. I'm talking about 1984's classic, The Year of the Ratt, when the band came out of the cellar, dude. Out of the Cellar, featuring the luscious Tawny Katane on the album cover. You get the cool back cover. This was the first Ratt album that I got, and this was the album that made me fall in love with the band back in the 90s. And it's got the song that made me love Ratt, and probably my favorite track on this album, Wanted Man, You're in Trouble, Round and Round, In Your Direction. A very underrated song that a lot of people don't really talk about. She Wants Money. I love it. I mean, who hasn't dated a chick that wants and loves money way too much? I think we've all been there before. I mean, but lack of communication, Back for More, The Morning After. Everybody has also had a morning after where you're like, oh, what the fuck, dude? What did I do? But, yeah. And, you know, maybe definitely my second favorite track, I'm Insane. I consider that my theme song. And Scene of the Crime. I mean, you got this album with everybody in Ratt firing on all cylinders. Pick this up. One of the greatest hard rock, heavy metal albums of the 80s. And in my opinion, Wild Ride bassist Mick Watkins, Dick Twatkins, in my opinion, one of the greatest Ratt albums of all time. I mean, one of the greatest albums of all time. And what's cool is because Ratt in the last couple months, they've been featured on a Geico commercial. I think it's Geico. Or some kind of insurance company commercial. And it shows the band playing Round and Round. And I think it was today or a couple days ago, Round and Round, for the first time since 1984, re-entered the Billboard Top 200 or whatever the fuck it is. And it went really high on the charts, I think to number 20. So that right there is proof that this music is timeless, dude. This music is timeless, and this music will live on forever, dude. You know what I mean? Like, people talk about rock is dead, heavy metal's dead, it's not as popular as it used to be. You know what? It might not be. Might not be. You know, because majority of people out there want to go with what's hip and what's trendy and what's cool. All this mumble rap, bullshit, nonsense, EDM crap. Well, I'm here to tell you that, you know what? It doesn't matter if it's the coolest music around to you all or not. Dude, heavy metal and hard rock, rock and roll, and especially Ratt and roll will live forever. Because we love it forever. I've been into this music. I've been living this lifestyle since I was a little kid. Since I was like in the early 90s. And this shit will never die. And rock and roll and heavy metal will never die. And guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. If you like this video, like the video and subscribe. Tell your friends. Spread the word of Radical Rockin' Record Reviews and my band Wild Ride. And guys, fucking Ratt and roll tonight. Ratt and roll. So guys, let's recap real quick because this video's long as shit like my other ones. Number 1, Out of the Cellar. Number 2, Invasion of Privacy. Number 3, Dancing Undercover. Number 4, Infestation. Number 5, Ratt, 1983. Number 6, Detonator. Number 7, Ratt 99. Or whatever. I always fuck up on this count. At number 9, Ratt Collage from 1997. Guys, I love you all. You guys rock. Continue. Like and subscribe. Watch my videos. Support them. Share them, guys. Get the news out because I want to expose good music and good times to people. So you know what, guys? You guys fucking rock. You're all my friends. And for everybody that I talk to online, all the different groups I'm in on Facebook, you know, I want to party with you guys. And one of these days, we all will get together and fucking party. So guys, peace. Love, rock and roll. I will see you later. Cheers, guys. Rock on. Wah!